All summer long on Hold My Banner, and Ante knows this. He was doing all these shows. It was Holiday's gone, Horford's gone, Porzingis is gone, Cornette's gone, the second apron, blah, 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 blah. Well, obviously these guys, they've continued on, and all four right now, albeit in different places, are with teams that, as we sit here, only, again, ballparking at 12, 13, 14 games into the year, they are all on teams that are either playoff or play-in teams as things go right now. Figured it's a good opportunity to look back on, well, not so much their time as Celtics, but what they have had going on in their times with their new teams. Let's start with Jrue Holiday, who is averaging 17 points, 8.5 assists, 5.5 rebounds in 11 games this year as a Portland Trail Blazer. Granted, in a more prominent role than he had with the Celtics, where he was, clearly a sixth man type of option. I don't know how you felt at the time. We weren't doing these shows together at that point. I celebrated that trade. Yeah. I loved the Anthony Simons addition. Mm-hmm. I also loved moving off of Holiday. I felt like this contract is going to age badly. It's already kind of starting to age badly. Holiday was not great last year, over the course of the entire season. Had his moments in the playoffs, but I don't know. You're not just paying a guy for his playoff performance. Maybe you are at this age, but you'd prefer not to, and obviously the Celtics preferred not to. Yeah. What he has done as, a consistent presence for this Blazers team, an overachieving Blazers team that sits right here in the West at 6-5 right now, in 8th place in that crowded conference at the moment. And as a leader, obviously, in the locker room, there's no Damian Lillard. He's out for the season, all that stuff. Yep. I mean, do you think we'd be seeing anything similar if he got this kind of opportunity if he were still in Boston?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the reason that I, don't think we would see it here in Boston is because I think the newness of the situation, of Portland saying twice, dude, we want you here. You know what I mean? We want you to be a part of the Portland Trail Blazers organization, and him going there and just having that just rejuvenation of newness and celebration. And, oh, my God, we've never had a champion as great as you in the last couple of years, and da-da-da-da-da. All of that is helping him out and pushing him through. And then also the fact that for whatever reason, he could just not stay healthy as a Boston Celtic.
Right.
I don't know if it was, the water, the dirty water. I don't know if it's the, the training staff, whatever. I don't know what it is, but he couldn't, the mallet finger thing took him out. Like you said, he wasn't playing well. And it really was because he couldn't shoot the basketball. I remember coming to the game that he came back and watching Jrue Holiday dribble the basketball. The ball wasn't even coming back up to his hand the right way.
Right.
So shooting the basketball wasn't even in the perception of what he could do. So, I just don't think it would have been possible for him to put out that same production here in Boston, especially playing with, more talent here, having a Derek White who's established his role here, having a Jaylen Brown who's established his role here, even Peyton Pritchard established his role here. He wouldn't have been asked to take over this playmaking role. He would have just been the cagey veteran to hey, make shots, play defense, do this and that. So it's good that he's there and that he's doing that. I feel like maybe, you might even consider that the Boston Celtics, they won a championship, but maybe they mishandled how they could have used him, especially in year two of him being here in Boston. So, yeah.
All right, let's talk about Al Horford. There were many questions in the offseason. Is he going to retire? Is he going to come back? Is he going to go elsewhere? Lands with Golden State, obviously. You see the numbers on your screen. He's averaging 6 points, 4.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists in 8 games this year. Hasn't played a ton. This Warriors team is sitting at 7-6, 9th in the conference. Honestly, about where I figured they were going to be, or somewhere in that range anyway. It's, he got off to an early shooting slump. He's started to kind of find his footing a little bit. But the Warriors signed him, Ante, to, be what he would have been if Jason Tatum were healthy in Boston. Right. To be that, maybe he starts occasionally, but generally he's your championship vet, your experience, your leader on the court and in the room, extension to your coaching staff, all of these different things, who can contribute a little bit offensively as well. I mean, do you see him being helpful enough to actually aid Curry, Butler, all these guys in taking this Warriors team somewhere, or is he just a dude?
Nah, I think right now, like, they're not worried about regular season when it comes to Al Horford. Like, it's something that you want to see him do in the playoffs. What I will say is, like, they're looking for opportunities right now for their team to respond because they don't want to be 7-6. Like, yeah, we see them as a playoff team, but like 7-6 to them is underachieving. So, like, can Al do the things that he needs to do to help this team win? And what has he been doing over the last 2 games or whatever? Knocking down shots. The issue that I'm having with Al is, like, the lateral quickness is left, like him switching on the people has been a nightmare, and that's why it's been hard for the Golden State Warriors to, find minutes for him because the defense hasn't been as great for him as it's been over the past, even in the regular season games for the Boston Celtics. But that was when you had multiple bigs. This team doesn't have multiple bigs, so that's where I think it'll get a little worrisome. He needs to not play games right now. Like, he needs to be taking nights off, playing 2 games a week, blah, 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 saving it up for the playoffs. I don't know if the Warriors have enough in that tough West to give him that leeway, but, we'll see.
Luke Cornett. Spurs are sitting at 8-3, third in the Western Conference. Obviously, much of that is Wemby. It's not Cornett, but Cornett, who has been, not as available as they would like so far. Only 4 games. 11.6 rebounds, 3 assists per, though. He's obviously been impactful when he has been out there. Fans love him. No surprise. I'm sure you've seen it on social media. He and Wemby, they've got the French vanilla nickname, for these 2 dudes. So it's fun. It's been cool to watch. I think the Spurs, getting a guy who obviously can positively impact not only them on the floor in a bit role, but their culture. I guess the question, really, not that we expected him back in Boston. You knew he was going to get the bag going somewhere else. But how much are the Celtics missing him right now with the front court that they have?
Not much, just because of the health, the ankle issue, you know what I mean? Like, that would be kind of concerning for this Boston Celtics team, for a team that I keep telling you has to play hard and play physical and all this other stuff. Like, Wemby, you know what I mean, kind of sets the tone when you go into playing the Spurs. Like, people are scared to go to the rim, they're jacking shots, so when he comes out the game, they might already be kind of, thinking about, maybe I shouldn't take this shot to the basket. Maybe I should, shoot this floater or whatever. So that kind of saves him in an instance. And then even watching them play last night against a Warriors team that, once again, isn't the most physical rebounding team, like a team that also has struggled with their defensive rebounding and stuff like that. He got 0 rebounds. So, those are the things. Like, I wish he was here as a depth piece, and like he is shooting like 79% from the field right now or something crazy like that. But like, as we said, like, the bigs have been kind of good at the rim for the Boston Celtics because they're getting nice, easy looks thanks to Jaylen Brown, thanks to Derek White, thanks to Peyton Pritchard. So I'm not really worried about him from that standpoint, and for the price point, it wouldn't have been that great.
We wrap with Kristaps Porzingis, who we could go on and on and on and on about. 17 points, about 6 rebounds, 4 assists in 9 games this year. So, look, with Kristaps Porzingis, when the playoffs roll around, because Atlanta will be a playoff team, and right now it's sitting at 7-5, 5th in the East. Hawks acquired him in what was a salary dump for the Celtics in hopes of, helping to get them over the hump, not just have a productive regular season, obviously. To which I would say, one, okay, and I'm not being this, like, whatever mean-spirited Celtics fan who's looking back on last year, but truly, like, this is this guy's career. Let me know if he's available come the playoffs. Like, that's the biggest thing. Let's see if he's actually out there. So that's one. The other, and you noted this in our pre-show notes, and I think it's a great observation and something that has been consistent throughout Porzingis' career, and even at points in Boston. The Hawks are actually a better team when he's not on the floor. Like, say what you will about Porzingis and some of those moments and how he did in the finals against Dallas and these surges that the guy is capable of going on. Generally speaking, because of some defensive inefficiencies or what have you, teams are better in terms of the metrics, offensive, defensive rating, net rating. Teams are better when Porzingis is actually on the bench.
Yeah, I love KP, but this lineup here in Boston kind of hid some of those flaws that he has. Like, he will you'll be in a situation where you need a bucket and he'll shoot it from 35. You know what I mean? Like, and it'll go right off the backboard. Like, he'll be in a situation where you need to get a stop and he just stands straight up and down and gets lazy on you for a possession because he's tired. You know what I mean? And then he's never healthy. And then, like, the rebounding thing has always been kind of a thing with him. Like, is he an elite rebounder at 7'3"? He's not, you know? So when those things come into question, it's like, all right, man, like, what are you? You know, like, you're kind of just a 7-foot guard. And, you know, Dallas had those issues, was why they traded him to Washington. Washington, he was amazing, which is why he ended up landing up here in Boston. Boston, it was good when he was available, but there were the nights where it was like, all right, KP, like, be a little tougher, dog. And, like, now, you know, the Hawks are dealing with the same thing. Like, I'm not sitting here saying that I don't wish we had KP here because he could add a lot to this team. But, you know, when you're talking about energy and effort every night for this team and physicality, he wouldn't help out in those areas.
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing is I'm just not sure your record at 6-7 is all that much different if you have Porzingis.
I agree. I mean, there's nothing else that needs to be said about that. I agree.